Airball here, and welcome to our next stop on our tour of Alchemy. Up until now, we have either tried to control the board through conventional means, like with the blue-white control deck that ran counterspells and board wipes, or just trying to kill the opponent before anything mattered with our mono-green Stompy deck and the big red dragons deck. But here we're kind of splitting the difference and playing a more mid-rangey strategy. We're still playing creatures, but they're designed mostly to gum up the board and get in the way, produce a value when they die, force the opponent to overcommit, and then pull the rug out from under them when they do. So let's get to know our cast and crew. We have the 4 copies of Twitch from Standard that we know and love. When it dies, we get to learn from the sideboard. Shambling Ghast, same deal. When it dies, sometimes you kill a tiny thing like Thalia, which can be a pain in our ass, or we can create a treasure token. And we have 3 copies of Ambitious Farmhand, which when it enters the battlefield gets us our land, so it makes us more consistent in hitting our land drops. And if somehow you reach Coven, which is admittedly somewhat difficult to do with this deck, then you can flip it into a 3/3 lifelinker, which can beat and keep you alive. Now, once we have those creatures in play, we have 4 copies of Deadly Dispute, which is another card that's also available in Standard, Better Village Rights Effect. When we sacrifice one of our creatures, we get to draw 2 cards, which is great, and create the treasure token, which is also relevant. We have 4 copies of Rite of Oblivion, which pays us off for sacrificing our creatures by being able to exile literally any non-land permanent. So any threat that the opponent could throw at us, we have the answer in Rite of Oblivion. We just need one piece of material on the board and to be able to use it. And the flashback, of course, is great. The other thing that we want to be able to do once we have our creatures in play is get extra value, more than I've already been talking about, when they die, and that's where the new Alchemy card Sanguine Brushstroke comes in. So when this enters the battlefield, you get a blood token, which is meh, and then you get a blood artist, which is great. So blood artist drains for 1 whenever any creature, not just your creature, any creature on the battlefield dies. So if you get a big board state with like 6 creatures in play, and then you play, you have a blood artist and play with this, and then you Meathook Massacre that board, that drains for a whole bunch and gets a bunch of value on top of that and can win the game on its own. The blood token is also a little more relevant than usual in the typical mono-black control decks because we're also playing 2 copies of Durham Bloodcaster. So it pays us off for getting up to 5 blood tokens. Whenever our things die, when this is in play, we get more blood tokens, and then it turns into a 3/3 beater if we ever have 5. But not only does it turn into a 3/3 beater, one of those blood tokens becomes a hasty bat. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, against the control decks, which is where this deck is probably weakest, we get to start attacking for 5 damage. Also, in terms of late game, we have 2 copies of Sorin the Mirthless, which is our card advantage engine, and it can also create other creatures to attack them down with. Sideboard contains pretty much exactly what you'd expect. We've got 3 copies of Paladin class, which is an interesting inclusion. You would expect that in a more aggressive deck, but we are pretty good at going wide, and so the second level of the saga here, or the class, I guess, matters a lot more than it would in like mono white or something like that. It's not just a mana sink that you're sort of sad to plus. It can actually provide a ton of value on its own. The full 3 copies of Legion Angel to just keep out grinding the opponent. Whenever we play 1, they know that they're going to have to deal with it with something other than just removal spells, or it's going to provide a ton of card advantage. 2 copies of Go Blank against the more controlling builds and to deal with flashback cards, and a few extra board wipes in the form of Path of Peril. And yeah, that's mostly the deck. I'm interested to jump in and see how the deck does. We're up against Yellow Hat? All right. Okay. So this is possibly Gab Nassif. He's down in Platinum, which is sort of making me doubt that it's him, but I guess it could be. And we have an okay hand. I think we're more or less happy to keep this. Yeah, we have our 1-drop, we have our Deadly Dispute. It's hard to say no to that. Okay, so the blue-black land makes it much more likely that it is Nassif. I think that's relatively likely. Play the Shambling Ghast. See what he's doing. Duress. So that probably takes Dispute, I would think. It does. And we're up against Desperate Control. Okay, so this will be an interesting matchup. I think we're interested in just getting the Bloodcaster in play. We don't really have much else to be doing. Let's play this on white and untap it. And we would love to be able to get the Brushstroke in play before he's able to wipe the board. That may not be possible. Okay, so it looks like that's going to happen. Celestis makes me think that there's some Fading Hope shenanigans in our future. No reason not to attack first here. Okay, we get in. And we'll get the Blood Artist in play. It's possible that we're going to be up against Divine Purge or something, because this named White, right? Yeah, we're up against Esper. So Divine Purge... I guess not. We were right about the Fading Hope. One thing that's nice about Divine Purge is that this Blood Artist is not a token. It's an actual piece of cardboard that we're going to get to recast if he does play that. Okay. Rite of Oblivion would let us deal with the Celestis, which is maybe what we want to be doing. We are somewhat constrained on mana. I think we're probably more interested in getting... This is tough. Definitely going to start with an attack. And I think I just want to be mana efficient. Play another Brushstroke. It's possible they have a counterspell. If they do, so be it. Okay, Deluge. Sure. So, Shadow's Verdict would make us sad here. I think the matchup is probably a little tough because typically the blue-based control decks are better at beating the other non-blue-based control decks. Just because they have the permission spells, so it's easier for them to decide what resolves and what doesn't, whereas we're more or less forced into that based on what we draw. We have less selection about how things work that way. So they're going to get their Meathook Massacre triggers. I'm kind of down to play our Bloodcaster and then play our Meathook Massacre for one. It's also interesting to cast the Rite of Oblivion on their Meathook Massacre. Interesting. So I think... I can also attack with the Hive. That doesn't seem great. It does let us deal with the Memory Deluge, though. So how much... This would exhaust all our mana. I think I'm down to do this and sack a... Blood, because that'll ping off the Brushstroke. Divide by 0 their own Meathook, okay. And they take Sciences. So I am kind of down, I think, to play my own Meathook Massacre and my Bloodcaster. For the formula, yeah. So now I'm quite convinced we're up against actual Nassif. Ooh, Sorin also seems good. So we can attack for 3, 5, and cycle the blood, which will ping for 2 more. So we'd get to hit for 7. It's hard not to... It's hard to imagine not playing the Planeswalker here, though. Just adding more. And I think because we're unlikely to be able to play anything we hit off Sorin, I think we're just going to play this, get more value off our Meathook Massacre. Maybe I'm supposed to plus Sorin so that we have a card to discard to the blood. Okay. This kills our board. Stuff trades. So these pings will offset, but we do get a blood that we'll be able to use to force through a little extra damage. And Sorin gets divided by 0, sure. I think I'm still fine on tapping here. This is tough. I think I'm just going to replay the Sorin. If they play Mascot Exhibition, then we have outs to draw. Oh, that's annoying. So that Discover the Formula provides a ton of value. He may have stabilized here. It's possible I was supposed to just be attacking with the Hive this whole time. May discard Sorin to the blood here, depending on what happens. So we've seen 3 discounted cards. There can't be many left off of that one Discover the Formula. Yep. Ice Witch seems good. I don't think it much matters what we take here, because we're probably going to discard it to the blood token anyway. Guess we're saying go. Definitely a terrifying number of cards over there. And a discounted Jwari Runes. Okay, so I think that speaks for all the cards that were in his hand at the time he cast that. I feel like at this point, the attack with the Mascot Exhibition makes me feel like if we attack with the Hive, then it just gets eaten by a removal spell. Alright, let's play another Sorin, see what happens. And yeah, I think I am down to play the land because powering up the hive is an intensive process. Vanishing Verse on Sauron, sure. And the Deluge. Okay. We're sticking around. We're hanging in here. So that Vanishing Verse, his job was probably to deal with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant, but I guess he felt the need to kill Sauron with it instead. Pitches. Unexpected conversion. Not sure what he's trying to do over there, but it's definitely frightening. Lear. Lear is pretty scary. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And he's got these discounted divide by zeros in the graveyard too. So I'm not sure at this point that we ever get anywhere ever again. And he's got the Vanishing Verse to replay as well, I'm sure, somewhere in here. No, I guess that's gone. Now I think we have to try this. Oh, I thought I checked for that. I didn't see it. So I guess that one might be from hand. Yeah, okay. I'm fine scooping this one up. I don't think we had quite enough to get there. Okay, so what's bad against them? Bloodcaster doesn't seem too impressive to me. I want to keep the Angels on the board. Go blank, of course, great against Lear. Paladin Class looks like it could be annoying. How do you feel about Rite of Oblivion? They didn't have many targets for it. They did have two of their own Meathook Massacres, which is a little scary. Vanishing Verse deals with those fairly well as well. And I do think... I think I'm down to cut these Rites of Oblivion and bring in a Bloodcaster, maybe two. Yeah, something like this. A wedding announcement is kind of expensive to tap out for, to blow out if they deal with it. And they have removal, like Vanishing Verse, for the announcement itself. So it's not at its best. Yeah, this is probably what I'm going with. Not a great hand. Not really great either, all things considered. It's probably the Meathook Massacre that goes here. And we have to play this on one. I think we're probably playing the Ambitious Farmhand. Yeah. And then the Paladin class can come down next turn, which will play around the Jwari Disruption. Oh, that's pretty good too, although that doesn't play around Jwari Disruption. And he showed us many copies of that in game one. So I think I am down to Just do this. Okay, bins the hall. So Divide by Zero is not live. We can play around Jwari Disruption by playing the Brushstroke, which I think I'm down to do, rather than pump the Paladin class. And then next turn try to jam the Legion Angel. Seems good. We'll attack first. Okay, so it looks like the Paladin class was inconveniencing them. That probably means that he wants a 4-mana play available on our turn. What could that be? Probably Memory Deluge? Key to the Archive, sure. Looting away a land. So are we interested in pitching our blood? Our next turn is probably Legion Angel, and I don't think I want to pitch the land, so I don't think so. Yeah, okay. Let's put this on black. I think we have enough white. That's too little too late at this point, I think. And let's just get the Legion Angel down and resolved, so it'll replace itself. And we'll attack. We are in Hullbreaker Horror territory now. A lot of scary things can happen to us. Meathook Massacre does a lot, yeah, so that's basically a growth spiral. A 0-mana growth spiral. They were able to play a land but do nothing else with it. And there's the Massacre, sure. So, not only that, they have 3 mana available now for Divide by Zero. And their Meathook Massacre cancels out our Blood Artist triggers, so it's kind of a bit of a beating. We have our own Meathook. So the question now is, do we play the Connoisseur or do we play the Legion Angel? I don't think either is resolving. And if neither is going to resolve, then I think we play the one that they know about. Oh, it touches the board, okay. And I think I'm down to just play this Meathook Massacre for 0. Am I? Plays into Jwari Disruption. I suppose there's not really any great urgency to play it. And we'll be able to play it next turn. Parasitic Grasp. Yeah, sure. So that went about as well as it possibly could. Saying Go is pretty scary here. I think I'm going to loot away this Massacre. Another City Stalker. Okay. 6 mana. Still only get to make one play here. They didn't have Divide by Zero last time. I'll play this one this time. I guess it's possible I'm supposed to power up the hive. They do have it this time. Okay. And now they'll probably fetch mascot exhibition? Teachings. Okay. Yeah, that works too. Yeah, I don't feel like we're going to get there this time either. If we draw untapped land, then we get to double spell next turn at least. Another key to the archive is very frightening. If one of these cards has discovered the formula, then we can probably just concede. All right. It probably does have to be this now, in case they do have the discover the formula. Another key. Yeah. I guess. So it seems like Fading Hope, consider. Okay. So once again, 6 mana. Despark exiling the Connoisseur, sure. And now I'm going to play... I really want a double spell against the deck that's full of interaction. Okay. So we did attack with 2 creatures, so we're going to get to draw a card here. Unless they bounce it. Or Vanishing Verse, sure. Sticking with it as best we can. Again, 6 mana, like we are flooding out here. Alright, we'll play the Legion Angel, and if they divide it by 0, then we'll play the Massacre for 0 as well. I'm actually down to play Massacre for 0 anyway, given that there was no stick there. He has flatted out significantly. Another one, okay. Um... Yeah, well, Mascot Exhibition here. Alright, another wedding announcement is fine. I think we'll get their last card. We don't have another Legion Angel to fetch. We don't have anything more efficient to do. It's just a land. Okay. Maybe I'm supposed to crack the blood there to try to find land. In fact, I'm almost sure that I am. Land or a 1-drop. Yeah, I'm definitely supposed to crack the blood there. Alright. So that'll probably fetch their own Mascot Exhibition. Yeah. Alright, so now I think I'm happy to pitch this. And we did hit the eye twitch. That's pretty gross. Vanishing Verse, you say. Okay. So we have Eye Twitch into Deadly Dispute into Legion Angel. Right? The net cost is 2 mana, and we'll have Legion Angel. No, not quite. Alright. And I think I am down to pitch. Vanishing Verse. It doesn't deal with any of their creatures. They're all multicolored. And I want to hit my land. We hit Sauron. Okay. This feels like a board wipe, doesn't it? We finally hit land. This attack doesn't make any sense unless they have an answer to the Hive. So that's why I didn't attack with it, although maybe I'm supposed to. That would have been nice. Duress. Yeah, I'm gonna sack the Eye Twitch here, I think. I'll take Pest Summoning. They probably have to take Sorin here. Oh, take Wedding Announcement. Interesting. All right. So, sure. Nice. So, like, it was important there that the Meathook Massacre, our triggers would resolve first. So if he did find a board wipe there, then our drain triggers would have gone on the stack before his gain triggers. So that would have been good enough. Did we see anything interesting in game 2? Not really. We saw some pretty poor draws for him, honestly. I think we got kind of lucky with the quality of his draw. He just sort of fizzled out. Which is, you know, a peril of these kinds of decks. The Key to the Archive doesn't generate card advantage on its own. And we were able to put just enough pressure on him to beat him. We just keep it the way it is. It's a pretty slow start. Maybe we are supposed to mull this. We just don't do anything. I'm gonna mull. Okay. It's a little better. We're gonna keep, and I think the plan again is gonna be to bottom the Meathook. We know we're gonna get a plains. I'm gonna play this tapped on black, I think. And I'm gonna scry, of course. Yeah, I'll take a wedding announcement. So depending on what he does, maybe we'll play the wedding announcement next turn, or maybe we'll just hold up Deadly Dispute. Celestis will definitely play the wedding announcement. We are a little scared. Yeah, Teferi's pretty good. So Key to the Archive is probably coming, and there's not a whole hell of a lot we can do about it. Yeah, and this makes sense as well. Before we can untap and deal and do the Deadly Dispute thing. It does mean that we might be able to get off a decent-sized go blank here. Which does appeal to me. I think I would rather do it after they play Key to the Archive, though. So let's just get more pressure on the board and get our tap land out of the way. It's possible we had to go blank there, but I kind of like just getting pressure on the board and getting them lower on cards in hand, like especially off of like whatever they hit off of the Key to the Archive, we're more likely to be able to get rid of if we hold on to the go blank, and we'll be able to attack down to Teferi. Like our next turn looks reasonably good with go blank plus hold out Deadly Dispute. Now, obviously, if they have like discover the formula here, yeah, this is fine. They have to do this before we can generate card advantage with our creatures that we get to attack with. They have their own hive this time. That complicates things a little bit. But it does mean that we are probably going to get to go blank. We also have the option of playing the City Stalker. Now, what we're most scared of here is probably Divide by Zero. We can't go blank into go blank if they divide by 0, but we can hold up Deadly Dispute for the creatures that we're probably going to draw, that we're going to create off the wedding announcement. So let's just do this. And obviously, it's not really something that they want to divide by 0. Sure. And he gets a cast Teachings. That's pretty scary. Teferi's also getting to the point where he's a serious problem. We may not be able to deal with that. So we'll see. If his draw is as bad as the one in game 2, then obviously we have a pretty good chance. But it looks like the cards are flowing a little better for him this time around. Teachings is a pretty good way to mitigate any of the card disadvantage that he has right now. But if there's removal, then we'll get to Deadly Dispute and have card advantage of our own. And then we'll be able to double Go Blank if he does have Divide by Zero in hand. So there's a lot of balls in the air. I think it's a little more likely than average that he has the cards in his hand that he needs to deal with it. Lear, what does Lear do? Lear does nothing right now. That's not entirely true. It does open up Divide by Zero on our Deadly Dispute. So I think before he untaps, we'll cast this. We have Vanishing Verse, which does not hit the Teferi, importantly. Maybe we should have kept in the rights. And they hold up Divide by Zero. Sure. So we can go blank. They divide by 0. We get to Vanishing Verse Lear, and then attack Teferi. Seems pretty good. I guess Vanishing Verse also compels the divide by 0. How much mana do we have? We have 6. But I guess Go Blank works better against, like, this card being Negate or something. Yeah, I'm down. We'll put this on black, and we will untap. I just want stuff in play. Anticipating with Teferi. Okay, that's a good sign. He had the option of playing Mascot Exhibition, chose not to. Okay. So what could this be? I think I'm down here to throw 3 things at Teferi. And 1 at the face. I think it'll be hard to keep Teferi alive through 3 attackers. Lobster. That's a problem. Okay. So how do we get out of this? We basically need to draw a kill spell for the lobster more or less right away. So let's maximize our chance of doing that. We're going to draw some cards off the Wedding Festivity as well. Casting Meat Hook Massacre right now does nothing. Oh, these don't draw. Shit. Thought they still would. Brain fart. Now I don't think we can get there. I think Hullbreaker's a little too good. And the rest is also a problem. He probably would take Go Blank, I assume. Oh, he bounces his own Meat Hook. That's cute. And we don't get any value off of that. Yeah. Don't think we're getting there this time, guys. We gave it a good effort. We'll give it one more draw step. If we draw a kill spell for the Lobster here, he did have to tap out to do this. If we draw a kill spell for the Lobster or get a redraw at it, then we have a chance. Fortunately, we don't have quite enough Shambling Ghast in play to be able to kill the Lobster here. And if there's like a Fading Hope or something here, then it doesn't. Then they'll be able to bounce their Hullbreaker in response. Yeah. And I guess we have to try to redraw with the blood, right? Okay. That's one way to deal with the Lobster. Wow, that would have been pretty bad for us. Oh, God, that's sick. Uh-huh. That's really, really good. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is a redraw, but, like, they're going to be able to cast an awful lot off this Celestis after it's been discounted by Discover the Formula. And we don't have a card to pitch to the blood. Yeah, so hopefully they bounce something with the Hullbreaker Horror. We get to discard it with the blood. No, it's too smart for that. Not many options left, unfortunately. That was a really clutch Discover the Formula. We block with the Blood Artist here. Probably not. Either we draw means to kill the Hullbreaker or we don't. And if we do, then we're going to want to... We're going to need to have the Blood Artist around to win. We can Meat Hook for 5, which is not good enough. Yeah. Problem now is that we're just, I think, literally dead to a spell. Because they can power up the Hive and bounce the thing. Yeah, that's going to do it, I think. Yep. Good game. Ah, tough one. I really wanted to win that. But that's the thing. They have the card advantage spells and we don't. So, good game. On to the next one. Okay, on the play with a pretty good opening hand, all things considered. We need to draw land, But actually, we don't even need to draw land. We have the farmhand to fix that. So I think we're in great shape. One drop, two drop, three drop, four drop. Doesn't get much better than that, with removal available. You're up against another Dimir control player. This could be exactly the same list that Nassif was just playing. If he's online right now, then that tends to encourage people to play his list. So Espery, Leary stuff. If it were Esper, this would probably be on white, I would think. More likely than not. Yeah, so let's get in. And we attack first. We don't want to reveal that we have the wedding announcement because then they might be incentivized to bounce something, and this way we get to draw the card off of it because we attacked with two creatures. And we'll see what they do. Meat hook for one. Sure. So that's not so bad. Again, like, we kind of want our stuff to die. Here we get to play Sanguine Brushstroke, hold up Deadly Dispute, or we can play the Connoisseur. I think I like this. Meathook Massacre, of course, does cancel out the Blood Artist, as we've seen. Another key to the archive deck, and it is Esper. Yeah, so it does feel like we're up against the same list that we just faced. So probably interested in casting Rite of Oblivion on that key. Probably cracking the blood to do it. Yeah, let's get rid of that key. Legion Angel's a good draw. Another one, sure. Hitched Fading Hope. Pitched one of the cards they got from Key. Okay. So we have 6 mana available. I do want to have Deadly Dispute up. So I think the plan here is going to be Legion Angel. Just for a little more card advantage. And we'll say go. Yeah, that's really good. I don't know that we can beat that. So they have enough to power up Hall. Again, we're getting kind of stuck on land, so we're attacking for 8. Attacking with the Hive would be lethal. It would mean tapping out, effectively. We'd be down to 1. I think we just go to combat. I don't think we have a chance of killing them here. Lightning Helix, okay. So if we hold full control... Okay, they have another kill spell. Now they go to 8. We can attack for 5. It's not good enough. I was going to say, if we kept the Legion Angel around, we would be able to power up the Hive and get in. Instead, it looks like the play is going to be to play another Legion Angel. And they bounce the Lightning Helix. Okay. And they get Mascot Exhibition. Yeah. All right. So now we have the option of jamming the Connoisseur, which will get rid of the Mascot Exhibition. It will die to the Lightning Helix. Still seems better. So Teferi comes into play. Expected conversion, yeah. So, okay, they still do have the mana to cast the Lightning Helix, I guess. The Celestis will do it. Teferi's going to untap the key. But hopefully we can squeak this one out. If we get another Sanguine Brushstroke in play, then the blood represents... Wow, what is this? It's aggressive is what it is. So they'll untap 3 mana. Cast Lightning Helix, go up to 12. They can't kill the Connoisseur with the Lightning Helix here. It's definitely a lot. Pitch Memory Deluge. Okay. We have options. If we power up the Hive, we're getting in for 8, 10, and they're at effective 15. So that doesn't seem great. So let's go to combat. Force them to make a move. I want this other Brushstroke in play. Yep. Yeah, and if this dies, then it'll create blood, which we'll be able to cycle and hopefully kill them with. Obviously, if off their first key they drew like Time Walk or something, then that's a problem. Discover the Formula is also pretty good. Probably going to have to kill them this turn, if at all. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana available with Teferi. Six. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Duress, I don't think is going to get the job done. Are you dead? You might be dead. So this is 10 damage, right? Unless we mill ourselves? Yeah, no, we're good. Okay. Definitely felt scary. I think we'll do the same boarding we did against Nassif, which, if I remember correctly, was taking out the rights. And what else did we take out? I think we probably trimmed a wedding announcement. In retrospect, I think that's wrong. I think I want to take out a Meat Hook Massacre. In fact, Rite of Oblivion is just... It's good against Teferi, and we have no other great answers. I think I do want a Rite of Oblivion, and I will trim a wedding announcement. We'll go with this. Yeah, same deal. I'm just going to get this tap land out of the way. It's never going to hit anything. Okay. So divide by 0 seems kind of likely. Jwari Disruption is also a possibility. I'm not really into playing anything into a Jwari Disruption, but I think I am on board with playing around both and getting another creature in play, because this way we'll be able to play the wedding announcement next turn around Jwari Disruption, and we'll be able to attack with 2 creatures if they don't do anything, which will let us draw the cards off the wedding announcement. Key to the archive. Yeah, okay, it's pretty good. We do have right, which I think is probably going to have to be played. Out Glass is pretty good too. Makes me feel a little better-ish. Yeah, okay. We'll start with right. Kill the key. And I'm going to play the Paladin Glass, I think. To play around their counter magic, or am I? Yeah. The card can be inconvenient. They pitched a Disdainful Stroke, which is interesting. Maybe that means they have another, and we were supposed to play our Legion Angel that turn. I just don't want them to be able to cast, like, Approach of the Second Sun or something. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we do have the right to deal with that. Yeah, and they have to do this now. So, what to do? I think now is the time to get the wedding announcement in play and hold up Deadly Dispute, because that could be tough for them to deal with. And it puts pressure on the board to deal with the fairy. It gives us cheap stuff to sacrifice to the right. And if they try to kill the 1/1, of course, now we have Deadly Dispute available. So what are we going for here? Time Warp. With 2 mana untapped. Interesting. So the plan here, I guess, is to ultimate Teferi before we get a chance to do anything about it. Which is, like, could be effective. Can only have one. I guess it's possible they're also running, like, Alrund's Epiphany. I'm not sure what this could be. No, they anticipate with Teferi. Okay, so they concede that they can't get him to ultimate, which I think is great news for us. Lear. Okay. Lear returns. I suppose Vanishing Verse is the idea. And they have to do it now. They do it on the wedding announcement. This can't sacrifice an enchantment, right? Right. Okay. I think I'm down. This 1/1's never getting in. I think I'm down to sacrifice it here. Make the treasure, have the ability to use right on Teferi, and hopefully draw like a Vanishing Verse or something for the Lear. No such luck. So now we're on 6 mana. They seem to fear the wedding announcement. That makes it appealing to play another. I do want to get down the Legion Angel before they can do anything about it. It's also, I guess, making them discard to City Stalker Connoisseur doesn't really do much because they're going to be able to replay the stuff with Lear anyway. It's possible that we're just forced here to kill Lear with the Meat Hook Massacre, as much as that sucks. Yeah, I think so. Had the option of using the Rite of Oblivion on it, but I do think we want to have that for Teferi. We can even sacrifice the Massacre to the right if that's what it comes down to. Teferi anticipates again. Okay. We would love to find one of our Go Blanks. We would really, really love to find one of our Go Blanks. We can also exile with the Hive, I suppose. We power up the Hive. At least we have Shambling Ghast as backup play. It's really risky if they have a removal spell. But the upside is high-ish. I think it's likely that they have both Divide by Zero and a kill spell. All right. Okay. So 4 mana to cast 2 Considers is pretty good. Maybe I was playing too much like a coward. We are the beatdown. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not a fan of how I played that turn. Okay, so they have their own meat hook. Oops. Just can't draw the land that we need either. I don't think Teferi is a huge threat yet. Maybe that's crazy. So with 7 mana, what do we do? I think probably the Wedding Announcement is pretty good. Also plays around Disdainful Stroke for whatever that's worth. Okay. And I'm definitely down to get this Eye Twitch in play. I just noticed our opponent is also running the Jace the Mind Sculptor avatar, so they also went 7-0 or 7x in the decathlon events. Hmm. All right, now is now the time to power up the Hive and attack with it. Let's take away our whole turn if it goes badly. How much mana do they have? They have enough to cast the Memory Deluge anyway, so the upside of attacking with it is not super high. All right. I do think I want to keep Teferi from ultimating anyway. And yeah, let's just play the one they know about. Cool. Yeah. So they get to go 7 deep here. Definitely don't feel comfortable personally on this side of the matchup. I feel like I'm probably not playing this matchup correctly. Yeah, that's pretty good. So the Paladin class is kind of putting in work here. Although, you know, it's definitely reaching the end of its usefulness in terms of attacks. I think probably our long-term plan should be to get it up so that we can hit them pretty hard with some random creature. Meat Hook Massacre. Uh-huh. So I think we do this before that touches the battlefield. Legion Angel's gonna die. I am fearful of Divide by Zero, discounted Divide by Zero. We're still not drawing lands as well. Like, the mana disadvantage we're at is kind of absurd. So I guess that means environmental sciences. Go blank is reasonable. How much mana we have? We have 6, 7, effectively 6 once we cast environmental sciences, which means brushstroke plus go blank is available. That resolved really quickly. So 6 mana. Yeah, let's do this now. It kind of sucks when they're on 6 cards in hand. They get to make a lot of they get to ditch cards that they're probably not all that interested in keeping. So they did have the Infernal Grasp to protect against our Hive, which makes me happy we held on. Let's see what happens. Key to the Archive is terrifying, of course. If they have like Time Walk here or something, then the game could just be done. Didn't take them long to decide. They get rid of Fading Hope. Yeah, their hand is gassed up against us. Yeah. I think I'm going to lead off with Paladin class. There's a pretty good chance, I think, that the opponent is on has a lobster. So how much is this? This is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is just enough to cast the lobsters through the Paladin class. Yeah, let's play this in the hopes of forcing it, I guess. Oh, literal counterspell. Okay. So still, that means they wanted to protect whatever their biggest card is. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that land in hand to pitch the blood to? Yeah, that seems right. So again, this is a real card. It comes to our hand. We're able to replay it. Scott Exhibition, also a little scary. Kind of into pitching the Blood Artist with the blood just to try to use our mana here. I definitely feel like I'm in serious trouble. Probably need to find like another mascot exhibition or a Meathook Massacre. If that's true, Meathook Massacre is much better with the Blood Artist in play. I think we'll untap. Okay, so let's play the Blood Artist again. I'll play the Eye Twitch. And probably kill, at this point, Teferi. Realistically. And if this gets divided by 0, then we're in trouble. This tanking cannot be good for us. Okay. So that means they looked at Teferi and decided they did not need him to win. The problem is they are eventually just going to hit another Discover the Formula and gas up. Like, they're at 26. They've drawn 8 more cards than us this game. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to get to play double Legion Angel. It's not awful. So we found all of them. And then, you know, we'll be able to start giving them double strike with the Paladin class. That's so... wow. That's a lot of interaction. Teachings is ambitious. We're down to 1 card in hand. Maybe they're just out of learned cards left to get. Do we take 9 here? I think so. Okay. Another one. Jesus Christ. So they could environmental sciences, land. Oh my god. Yeah, this is this doesn't seem fair. Like, obviously what we're trying to do with this deck is play against creatures. Are we dead on board? Or 4/7/9. Not quite dead. But against the control decks are going to be tough. They let Jwari Disruption go. Yeah, like these blue cards are just the mirror breaker, right? I'm not saying like we're bound to lose this matchup, but it definitely seems really hard. Yeah. Vanishing Verse, yeah. So we have 9 mana, costs 5 to power up the Hive and attack with it. We can double strike it with the Paladin class, but then we're dead. Probably have to do this, and then try to gain some life off the blood. I guess we might as well do that now, given that it's going to be forced, to see if we find a play. And we do. We have Coven, no less. Alright. I don't think we can afford to attack with the Blood Artist anymore. Can they put us out of our misery? Close. You probably have to block like this, so as not to be dead to just like a removal spell. Like, going to 1 seems risky. Okay. And now we're dead. Okay. Like, I guess. It's better than 5. Don't duress me. Ugh. Mulligan on the play into duress. Feels bad. It's a good draw, though. Yeah, I think we just have to jam this. If they have to already disruption, so be it. Paladin class does not affect the board enough. Yeah, so I mean they just had it, and I think we had to go for it there. Again, there's no guarantee that it gets significantly better next turn anyway. Yeah. Grim. We would have gotten disrupted this turn if we had held on to it. Yeah. Okay. I think that's gotta go. Especially because they know about the Vanishing Verse. Alright, Legion Angel's gonna have to go coast to coast. We are down 5 cards against them. It's just outrageous. We were on the play, so this doesn't even play around Joy Disruption anymore. Alright. Disdainful Stroke, me. Oh, I'm kind of stunned that that resolved, honestly. That's kind of bad news. Yeah, okay. We'll keep that one. Yikes. Keep going. If these two get in, then the Hive might maybe do something. I don't think Soren does enough. Like, Soren has a little bit of card advantage, and we are way down on cards, but I think we're so far down on cards that we just need to kill them before they have a chance to play them. And that's going to be tough now that everything has been discounted by Discover the Formula. Yeah, okay. So like they could find, I suppose, Lightning Helix or something would keep them alive. Pitch Duress makes some sense. So Hive is not going to get there this turn anyway. So I don't think there's any point in attacking with it at all. Doomblade. Sure. Okay. So yeah, it's just another Legion Angel, right? Like just keep throwing threats at them and hope it's good enough. Also pretty good. So this will never get in around the hall. Let's jam another. Can you answer this one too? If you can, you are the superior Magic player. Oh, sure. Must be nice. We've somehow fought back from all that card disadvantage, and it's just not going to matter. But we'll do this. We'll fetch the planes and play the Connoisseur to try to force something out of their hand. The problem is that anything they're holding at this point is already really bad for us. They discarded Leer. What on earth is that? What are they holding if not Leer? Another key. Okay. A Wrath? Yeah, again, let's get in. Electrolyze. They kept Electrolyze instead of Leer. I don't understand. We'll pitch this in case we draw another creature. We're just trying to add as much pressure to the board as we can. That's decent, too. We'll play that for 0. That is the second straight game 3 that our opponent has, from nothing, ripped Discover the Formula off the top. Uh-huh. Yeah. This just feels miserable. And they untap it. Oh, boy. And they have Leer. So we need, like, Kill Spell off the top. Hmm. So there's even a divide by 0 in the bin. Okay. We have to attack. And they have divide by 0 for whatever we do. I don't think we have enough juice to get there. They have no more. Can we win if Lear dies? Maybe. Okay. And let's see if we can find, like, another threat. Nope. So they're gonna have their own mascot exhibition. 2, 4, 7. Yeah, they can even attack with the hall and cast mascot exhibition. Okay. Seems good. We are drawing lands. How are we attacking? Seven, 9, 13. So it's a lethal attack. I mean, this is probably it, right? And if you have a board wipe, like if that last card is Meathook Massacre, then it was just a Symphony. Like, well done. Okay. Again, Vanishing Verse not hitting this is pretty painful. Do we need to draw off of Sorin? Or can we afford to minus and make a life-linking token? I think I'm down to make the lifelinker and hold up Vanishing Verse. We have enough to pay the ward cost on the hall as well. Both of us getting kind of low on the clock as well. If your own Vanishing Verse. Yep. They're going for the kill. They could have Vanishing Verse the Sorin. They think they've got me. Maybe they do. I'll let them attack first. Okay. I think that does it, right? Because now we can get this to a 3/3 double strike. That'll kill us if we reveal it. What a game. Holy shit. I can't believe we got there. That's amazing. All right. That feels outstanding. I am very pleased with how we played the last few turns of that. I think the opponent kind of got themselves into serious time pressure and didn't play super well. Like, discarding that Lear made less than no sense. But I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. All right. 1-1. On to the next one. Okay. Here we are on the draw. We have Shambling Ghast and Deadly Dispute. That seems good enough for me to keep. We do need to draw some lands. Opponent is mulliganed, which is helpful. And let's hope we don't face Demure or Esper control for another. Did this win a tournament recently or something? Like, feels like we might be up against control again. Given that we're missing our land drop. Let's get the eye twitch down. Okay, so this could just be the mirror. We did hit our land. I think I'm down to just play this and play the tap land on black. Scry. Sorin is hard to turn down. And we're going to be able to Deadly Dispute something to hit our land drops. I'll keep Sorin. When I said I wanted to play against creatures, this is not exactly what I meant. Okay. That could be worse. What do I want here? I can see arguments for a bunch of different things. I think it's just sciences. I don't know that we'll... Like, we're going to cast Sorin this turn, but we probably want to have the sciences available for some future turn. I'm just going to get the... just want to get the flyer in play. We have to pitch a card. I think that the brushstroke is a little better, is it? Yeah, I think so. Or, yeah, the brushstroke is a little better. Rite of Oblivion. Okay, so we'll plus Sorin. See if we can hit land. We do. We're probably just trying to keep Sorin alive here. So I kind of like just playing this. Play the Environmental Sciences. Hold up Deadly Dispute. What did I play this on? I played this on black. I guess if we draw Legion Angel, we'll want the second white. Yeah, so let's just keep Sorin around. Force them to invest in killing him. These mirrors can be tough. There's only a few cards that really matter. Meathook Massacre is one, Brushstroke is another, Sorin is another. Okay, and they have their own Sorin. We do have 6 mana. That's another one that matters, unfortunately. And here, realistically, it's probably Brushstroke plus Wedding announcement. At least the Blood Artist goes toe-to-toe with their Meathook Massacre. They found another Sorin. Okay. He was getting close to ultimating, which is irritating. So we're probably going to be forced to Rite of Oblivion, stacking the blood to kill Sorin before he gets to 7 and kills us. Yeah. Okay. So this doesn't feel great, not gonna lie. We have 6 mana. They have another Sorin. Let's lead with this. They might be inclined to discard their Sorin, and then we can Rite of Oblivion the one on the board. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, another board wipe is going to seriously hurt. But if we get to untap, we'll get to Rite of Oblivion their Meathook Massacre. That's an interesting target, right? It feels like that's one of the permanents that doesn't matter. It feels like the Blood Artist and the Brushstrokes are what matter. These are gonna become better. I don't think I want to block here. I'll take 3. Do I want to draw cards off of this? I'm not even sure that I do. I think I'm down to do this. Kill their... Do I want to kill their Meathook Massacre or do I want to kill the Brushstroke? I think it's the Meathook Massacre. I'll pitch a blood to do it. We have the option of drawing 2 cards by attacking with the 1/1s here. Or we can just make the board even wider. I think we'll just make more 1/1s. Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the blood, sure. Our board's pretty wide now. They probably have been able to draw another Wrath, and they're timing when to play it. But in the event that they haven't, if we get to untap and play Wedding Announcement, hold up Dispute, that's pretty great. Now they have double Blood Artist, which is more annoying. Do I take 3 again? Otherwise I have to trade 2 tokens. I think I'm taking 3. Farmhand. Alright. So this, will we have Coven? No, we won't have Coven. Oh, they scoop. Okay. That doesn't seem right. I honestly felt a little behind. Because these are never getting through, and eventually they're going to wrath the board, and they have two blood artists to our one. And they have the manland. I definitely felt behind there, but okay. What do we want in this matchup? I'm honestly not sure we sideboard at all. I guess go blank is maybe okay. What don't we like? The connoisseur feels like supremely medium. Maybe we're just supposed to take out these connoisseurs and bring in the go blanks. Like, they have all the answers in the world to it. It is a 2-for-1, but so is go blank. And the go blank also has the advantage of exiling the graveyard. They weren't running snow, so there's no blood on the snow to worry about. It does deal with the flashback card. Anything else we're not huge fans of? I am a fan of this, I think. Just getting in the air over their dummy creatures, forcing them to wrap the board before they want to. I think I'm down to do that. But I think that's it. I think that's the only thing I'm going to do. Okay, so we're here in game 2. Opponent has just timed out. I don't think we're going to get to play this game, unfortunately. But we'll play as though they're still here. We have to mull this. Definitely keep, and I think we're bottoming a land. Which land? Probably the swamp. And yeah, so opponent did have that early good game in game 1. I'm guessing that they had to go, and they just couldn't be arsed to play another play the rest of a black-white control mirror. Which, I respect. That's good for my rank. I will take it. So I'm probably just going to cut the video here. If they come back, we'll see you shortly. If they don't come back, then I will see you in the deck tech. Cool. Yeah, so opponent never came back. The deck definitely felt powerful. Let's pull it up so we can take one last look at it. We didn't really get to see the deck in its natural habitat, which is to say playing against dragons, playing against just mono green, playing against mono white, where the matchups are excellent. And so this deck is kind of, as it always has been, an anti-meta choice. If you expect to see a lot of creatures and not a whole lot of control, then definitely run this deck. However, if you expect to see a lot of control, particularly of the blue variety, I think you are in serious trouble if you run this. It's not as bad as in Standard, where the blue control decks just go way over the top of you and resolve Alrund's Epiphany, and you just can't get enough of a clock on them to deal with it. It's better, the situation is better than that, but not by much, because Discover the Formula is, for all intents and purposes, about as good at winning the game against us as Alrund's Epiphany is. And they are eventually going to draw it. In the game against Nassif, we had him top decking in game 3. He ripped that off the top, and the game just fell over. And we really needed him to brick. And it also happened again in game 2, in match 2, and we barely got there with this crazy Paladin Glass combo that is definitely not how the deck was designed to win. And then the mirror. At the end of the day, the mirror is just about who has more experience playing the deck, I think. Who knows which cards matter. The opponent made some questionable decisions with their removal, which made the difference in game 1, and then just didn't stick around to see what would happen in the rest of the match. So overall, pretty happy with the deck. I don't think I will play this one in the Gen Open, but maybe. I think it's probably a good choice for the Arena Open this weekend, because I suspect a lot of people will be running creatures there. But let me know what you think. I will catch you in the next video.